Hey y'all, opportunity is knocking in the WOW universe. This is Steph and Cat Talk WOW.
Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs and the Ruben Studders. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers of Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers of Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape. Every one of us, I was kinda late. I just made it off the struggle bus. Walking by the fate, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate, gotta focus.
Hey y'all, welcome to a brand new, fresh episode of Steph and Cat Talk WOW, brought to you by the Hardy Wrestling Podcast and In Cat We Trust. Of course, I'm your girl Stephanie Hardy, coming at you live on this amazing Saturday, and I hope all of you are staying safe because, of course, there's all sorts of crazy winter weather going on. But of course, I hope you're staying safe, eating your food, eating your soup, and just staying cuddled up in all of your blankets and everything is fine. But of course, I'm Stephanie, and of course, I'm the host of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast and co-host of this fabulous platform and HWP Extra and writer for Let Them Wrestle and color commentator. But I'm not alone. Back with me, I believe. We are here, and this is our first episode together of the new year. Oh my God. It's the 24th day of January. And Katrina is here with me. She's the host of In Cat We Trust. She's a, oh my gosh, correspondent to various wrestling promotions all around New York, New Jersey, and wherever else you could possibly need her at. She's an author, she's a super mom, and I'm just so happy that she's with me. How are you, Kat?
I am okay. I'm hanging in there. Thank you for the intro. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and I'm just really happy that we are back together to talk about all the craziness that WoW has hit us with at the beginning of the year. Kat, how do you feel about the direction of everything so far?
I like what I've been seeing. We had some new superheroes introduced in 2026 already, which has been cool. Some new developments with some of the stables and factions and WoW, and even some matches where you're like, okay, let's see what WoW is going to do with this superhero in this new role possibly. And so it's been good stuff so far.
Yeah, it has been really good stuff. And the thing that I love about it, not only just in the backdrop of Las Vegas, is that they're continuing to keep things fresh. It's like I said in the last episode, when you got comfortable with one theme song, they shifted us into another intro, which made me kind of sad because I was trying to memorize that song because I love theme songs. And I'm just like, oh man, well, they switched over to this new thing. But, they're not resting on their laurels with their production, and there are different changes within personnel of factions, like you said, but it is definitely still the WoW that we love. And of course, if you guys are watching us live, and if you do watch WoW Superheroes, you can chime in the comments and you might wind up on the screen. And of course, you can watch this later on both of our YouTube channels, the Hardy Wrestling Podcast and In Cat We Trust, a little bit later if you cannot watch us right now. But thank you guys so much for our support. So, the episode we're talking about today is Opportunity Knocks, which aired last weekend on January 17th and the 18th. And of course, WoW also made the announcement that they will be showing their episodes on Vice Television on Thursday nights. So, if you want to catch it then at a much later time, you can catch it then, record whatever, do your things, as well as their episodes being available on YouTube, on Pluto TV, as well as any channel that you look up on their website at wowe.com with your zip code. So yeah, you can check out all of the action with our ladies there. So this episode started essentially with Tormenta giving a few words to Penelope Pink, the new number one contender for the WoW World title, backstage. And she stated, "You always think you're the best in WoW, but you and Lana are always looking for ways to win because you cheat." it's been difficult for me to climb the ladder to become the WoW World Champion. And this message is for all of my people. I will defend them with my blood, sweat, and tears because Penelope, I'm going to finish you off tonight and I'm going to still be the WoW World Champion. So, of course, this main event in this episode dealt with Tormenta going up against Penelope Pink. After she won that triple threat match to become the number one contender, which kind of made me sad. Like I said in the last episode, because I really wanted Santana to win. And it was a pretty good match overall between her, Penelope Pink, and the Class Master. But of course, when you have a manager, you have that X factor. And if it comes to and when it comes to who's the master of that at WoW, it's always the Fab Four and it's always Lana Star. So it wound up being Penelope Pink being the number one contender at that point. So, Katrina, how did you feel about Penelope getting the opportunity after that hardly contested and very heated triple threat match?
I mean, I wasn't surprised, honestly, just because Lana has been trying really hard to make sure her girls kind of got back where she wanted them to be on top with the titles, and so I wasn't surprised. I did think it was a really good match. However, with that being said, I did think it was a good match, and it's just one of those things. Is like I like Penelope, but it is one of those like Lana. You might need to just take a step back and you know do stuff without having to be so much involved because it's like, do you trust them or not? To to do what they're supposed to be doing. Do you trust them and whatnot? So I enjoyed the match, but I wasn't surprised with the winner.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match too. I love that the class master was sort of, putting herself out there also by saying, I'm a former champion as well, and you're not just going to railroad me. But then, of course, you could argue that there was levels of cheating as she was willing to do with Samantha Smart. So it's just kind of like, oh my gosh. Like, I just wanted the person who was more than likely to win without any help to win. But we'll get to that in a minute. So after the promo from our Wild World Champion Tormenta, we got a spotlight on Scout Parker, which was interesting because we hadn't really gotten a spotlight on her since she was her old persona, Ice Cold, back in the day. It feels weird to say back in the day. But back in the earlier episodes of the reboot, we saw Scout Parker as Ice Cold, and we learned a lot about her then. But when it comes to her as Scout Parker, we never really got to see what her newer interests were. So she was talking about how she likes to connect with nature and loving the greenery and touching grass, which is something that she really did encourage a lot more people to do, which is a very popular thing that people in the wrestling community like to say when it comes to us taking things a bit too seriously and just getting really passionate and like, no, you just need to go out and touch grass. And she was encouraging us to do that because she also likes to go hiking and connect back to the earth and just lay in the grass and get her energy levels up while preparing to go out in front of, the glitz and glam of the wrestling world. And I thought it was really nice to see her walking about in the mountains and such. And it looked like she was just in completely different terrain than what, of course, I'm used to. So I'm from Alabama, so it's just a lot of what we have. We have green hills and green mountains, but it's definitely just hills a lot of the time. So it looked like she was kind of out in the desert. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm always fascinated with desert terrain because I'm just like, I don't see it that often. When I was in Las Vegas last year, that was the most I had ever really seen or been around desert terrain. And it was interesting. It was beautiful. It dehydrated me a little bit. I mean, it was great. But, it was just nice to sort of see that sort of terrain and to see Scout Parker just reconnecting with nature because that's just a really beautiful thing. So, Kat, how did you feel about the spotlight on Scout Parker before her match?
I thought it was nice. We did learn some stuff before previously when she was ice cold, and while I'm not somebody who wants to do a bunch of hiking and stuff because um, I do appreciate just going outside and doing things. I am a firm believer of there's always, at least in New York, I always say there's always something to do in New York City. There are museums and obviously food spots, but there's always something to do, and you can always find something for free as well to do in New York City. And so it's always good to, I think, to get out and do those kind of things. So I can understand, and I do think a lot of people sometimes take not just wrestling seriously, but some things people like the things they probably should take seriously, they don't. They take the wrong things seriously, and so I do believe in sometimes, yeah, you got to get out, get off your devices, get off your screens, and maybe yes, touch some grass. I don't even use that saying, but I get the whole premise of just maybe just taking it back, like relax. It's not that deep. I promise. Oh, that kind of vibe of just sometimes people take things a little too. They're like they let it deter their day a little too much for something that actually does not affect them, and so that I can agree with. But I thought it was a nice little, it's always cool to kind of see what people are doing outside of the wrestling ring and what the interests are. And for somebody who has 100 interests, like I have a lot of things I like, it's always nice to see that. So I thought it was a nice little spotlight, and with just connecting with nature and whatnot.
Yeah, it was really nice. I like that a lot. And yeah, in New York, there is a lot to do. That's the reason why I always say, if I'm ever given the chance to go back to New York at some point, I'm gonna do it because there's still so much that I haven't seen. Even out of the 3 times I've been, there's still so much that I want to do, and so many people I want to see again, including you. So it's just there's just so much to do, and then there's so much outside stuff to do, even though you're surrounded, by the concrete of it all, there's still so much to do. And y'all got all that water too, which I just want to explore too. I'm just an adventurer at heart. I want to see everything. So it was really nice to see that. So in the midst of this, we also find out that Ashley Blaze likes to reconnect with nature too, which is something that David McClain mentioned on commentary during their match together. So the first match of this episode was Scout Parker versus Ashley Blaze. And we're seeing more of Ashley Blaze sort of come out to the forefront this season because she stepped up to fight on behalf of Tara Strike when it looked like when essentially she was getting ganged up on by Miami Sweet Heat, the WOW Tag Team Champions, last week, and she kept saying how she had her back. But I do have my theories about that, but I'll talk about that later. So in this match, it's felt like Scout and Ashley Blaze were basically two different sides of the same coin. And by what I mean is, it's like it looked like there was a lot of their offenses that were very much the same, like they mirrored each other in different ways. I enjoyed this match a lot because of it. Like when both ladies locked up, they traded wrist locks. At one point, Scout was targeting Ashley's arm, but then they both traded pin attempts. They were just so well evenly matched throughout this whole bout. There were snap arm drags between each other, drop kicks at the same time. It was just really nuts. I was in my notes, I put wrestling twins with asterisk stars around it because it was just giving that. They were holding each other's grips for strength, but then Ashley, of course, used a lot of her agility to hit a monkey flip onto Scout for the advantage, but then Scout lifted Ashley Blaze's hands for pin breaks, doing like that struggle for strength that they do. And for the life of me, every time I see people in wrestling do that, whether it's man or woman, I'm just like, how much strength do you have to have with your arms to lay flat on your back and lift the other person's arm up and then lift the other person's arm up? Like, that's just really nuts to me. And I just admire them for being able to do that because I just can't imagine having someone else's weight on you and you just lifting up their arms. It's crazy. Um But we move on with the rest of the match. Scout actually well, Ashley Blaze actually hit a shoulder tackle and a roundhouse kick for a 2 count. Then Scout fought back with a drop toe hold, but then Ashley Blaze locked in a side headlock after Parker attempted a backwards leap over, but then she actually did attempt it and knock Ashley Blaze down. And there was just one moment where it looked like Scout Parker could have gotten the win there, but then Ashley, they were twisting all around each other from the ring corner, but then Ashley hit a front row cutter and then they struggled a bit, and then Blaze hit a TKO in order to win the match. So Ashley Blaze got another victory under her belt at the start of this in the start of this new season within Las Vegas, and it was just really cool to see her get that win. And then she cut a promo in the ring stating, how much she wanted to have Terror Strikes back and everything, which I thought was really interesting considering I'm just like, ma'am, you did just win this match. Why don't you just focus more on how, you might be going for a new goal or talking more about yourself? But it seemed like she only talked about maybe 30% about herself and 70% about the situation with Terror Strike. And I'm all for, black women supporting black women. But in that moment, I was just like, hmm, this is interesting. This is a very interesting wrinkle in things. And then she also gave another promo backstage talking about how she wants to run it back with Scout Parker. So it was a little bit better from her backstage promo where she talked more about how she wanted to face off against Scout Parker again because of how well and evenly matched they were. And that was a little bit better in terms of, the focus of herself and that match and her performance. But yeah, that match was really good. I enjoyed it. It was a very solid start to the episode. And Ashley Blaze got the win. So that was cool. What did you think, Kat?
I agree. I do think it was a really nice match. I'm liking that in this, you know, these last episodes, we've been seeing more of Ashley, you know, kind of being involved either in a match or a storyline, and kind of really like when she debuted, she had a few matches and then they kind of paired her up with people. And so it is nice to kind of see her stand up, on her own and have her own matches and, hopefully lead to whatever her goal. I know when we spoke to her before, she said, eventually she would want to have a title. And so hopefully these matches will lead her to getting that goal or to get a title shot at some point. But I did think it was a really good match. I thought that it was definitely a good way to open up the show. And I will kind of agree with, you know, I guess her worrying about, somebody else while she won. What I would say though is probably because this is who I am. Like I will probably be like I'm usually more concerned about other people before myself, and so I guess in that way I can kind of understand why maybe she was like, hopefully she gets back. But I can definitely see the other aspect of like, well, girl, you gotta focus on some stuff you're doing too, and your end on and wow. And so I can see both sides of that.
Yeah, I can see both sides of that too as well. I think I feel that way as well at times where I try really hard to talk about other people's things over my own things. Like to the point where even in my last episode on HWP Extra, where I was talking about High School Musical and the 20th anniversary, and I was there with Krista, Jose, and Nessa. And I was, and giving them a chance to get their stuff out there. And then Krista starts talking about me, and I'm just like, wait, what? And I just be like, what? Like it's kind of uncomfortable, but at times. But you do have to center yourself in your own goals as well. So, um, I do understand from that point of view, but at the same time, there is more that she has to give, and I am happy that she's getting these wins. And I do hope at some point she does get a WoW world title opportunity because Miss Mamas is good. Like we've seen her grow, like we saw her potential when she was in NXT, and there was, a lot there, but then of course she was sidelined with injuries and, a lot of mental health battles as well. And to see her grow more under the WoW umbrella as Ashley Blaze has just been really cool. And I just want to see her get opportunities like that, even if that means, her possibly even going after the trios titles as a part of the Dojo Defenders. That would be really cool too. Just any form of gold for Ashley Blaze, I would be really pumped about. So it would be really good. But I'm going to share my really dark theory about Ashley Blaze. And this is no shades of her at all. But I think in my brain, I feel like because of the way everything went with Tara Strike and Kara Kai, with Kara not being a part of the tag team title match, with Tara and her not being able to connect with her or call her or whatever, and Ashley Blaze being so very willing to jump in, I'm low-key afraid that Ashley Blaze might be trying to take Kara Kai's place. I know that sounds messy, and I know it's something that we have seen before, but but I just that's just my really dark theory. Like I really feel like, bro, what if Ashley made it so Kara couldn't be present for the thing and she wanted to go hang out with her, but then I don't know. Like I just have this really dark theory that maybe there's something brewing underneath that we're not quite catching because someone can smile and be all peppy and everything, but then it's just like no, and then all of a sudden be all, and then the next thing you know they'll turn and then they'll be like, oh, it was always supposed to be me and you, like on some Naomi stuff. I don't know, but I don't know. I just that's just me and my dark theory. It could definitely not be the truth. And if I'm wrong, I will say that I'm wrong, and I will eat it and I will take it. I'll take that L because I'm grown. But I just that was just a dark thought that I had in my mind. So Kat, what do you think about it? Indulge me.
I mean, it might be possible. Wrestling's wrestling, and sometimes you don't want people to do the
Ooh.
shady or thing, but some people do for whatever reason that they do. And especially in WoW, we've seen it happen a few times already with people. You're like, oh, okay, this is what we're going. And so it's possible. It's possible.
It is possible because friendships are a very fleeting thing in wrestling at times. But I do enjoy the moments where we do get friendships that blossom on screen. I enjoy that, especially when it comes to women's wrestlers. I enjoy female friendships like now. Um, Even in women's wrestling, when it comes to Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, I enjoy their friendship blossoming. I enjoy Charlotte and Alexa. Like those are the type of things that I really enjoy. I appreciate seeing female friendships and male friendships in wrestling too. But when they break up, they break up and it's bad and and it's crazy. But we have to bask in the friendships while we have them. Okay, we have to love. We have to love. So, um now, we did get to hear a bit from Genesis, whom we had not seen in a minute. She has a match this weekend against Catalina Speed, and she had a lot to say to Sibley Skulls backstage. And how she felt like that opportunity for the Wild World title should have gone to her instead of Penelope Pink. She also talked about how she felt like it should have been her in that triple threat match or whatever, but she wasn't put there because here again, she feels like there's an agenda set against her. But before she was able to announce a certain surprise that she had, she was interrupted by the classmaster and Samantha Smart, who essentially told her, like, look, nobody cares about you because I was a former world champion and I should have more of an opportunity than you do. Um, and she actually called Genesis a child who probably cut in the lunch line and called her spoiled and everything, and and told her that she needs to get all the way in the back. But then Genesis clapped back and said, "No, since you lost the title, you belong in the back just like the rest of us." And it was so interesting because we were finally able to hear Classmaster speak for herself in this promo, which we had not heard in a minute because a lot of the time it's Samantha Smart being the mouthpiece. But Classmaster actually spoke, and I was just like, yes, I like this. So Classmaster said, look, history always repeats itself. At least I have been Wild World Champion, and you've never been. And I was like, ooh, where's the lie? The pain, it burns. So yeah, it was just a lot of clapping back. But Genesis did go ahead and announce that this weekend she has a surprise for the WoW universe. And I'm wondering what that is. I'm wondering what that is. It could be anything. It could be a person. I don't know. Katrina, how do you feel about Genesis prospects in the new year?
I think it. Like Genesis has at least like towards the end of last year, she had like a lot to say in regards to what she wanted to do, how she needed more opportunities and shots, and so I do like that there's some new prospects in this regard. I'm excited to see what happens with them or what happens going forward in the next few weeks with Genesis. And, hopefully she can get what she's been trying to get, the last few months in WoW.
Yeah, she's been chomping at the bit for a long time to try to get an opportunity. And even when it seemed like she would win certain things, it's almost like she would be so close but no cigar. And it's just really nuts to kind of see someone as talented as she not, have like the big opportunity and actually capitalize on it. And then a part that also disappoints me about her is that she's so talented and she's so driven, but yet she always tries to find underhanded ways to win. And I'm just like, Genesis, at what point are we going to start locking in and utilizing the skills that you have and not cheating to win? Like, girl, like you don't have to do this. But you know, I'm pretty sure she would disagree. If that is if we post this clip online. But still, it's just Genesis really might be, you know, in place for a big splash this year. And we might see, and we're definitely going to see, you know, more of what she has to offer this weekend in her match against Catalina Speed. So I'm pretty pumped about that. It's going to be really cool. So they did announce that Monsters and Metal will be fighting this weekend as well against the Alliance. And I did see on social media that the new boss of the Alliance, Ariana, I'm sorry. I feel like people pronounce Ariana and Ariana so differently. So if I do get it wrong, please charge it to my head and not my heart. Ariana Gambino posted on social media and said that it's her time. So I don't know if we're going to see her wrestle um in this match or not, but I am pumped that Monsters and Metal are getting back into the swing of things, because honestly, they should not have lost that match for the trios titles. And I would honestly argue that their next match should have been a rematch, honestly. But if they have to fight against the Alliance for that, then I'm pumped about that too, because I've been wanting to see the Alliance show more of what they have to offer as a group since they've gotten together, because they really haven't had like a specific goal for gold. So I'm really excited about what could happen from this match. This episode is going to be really interesting. So, Kat, I didn't get to. What were your feelings about the new boss of the Alliance in Ariana Gambino, who is the sister of Adriana?
We'll see. You know, we'll see. I don't have like real thoughts of her just yet. Um, I get the whole family affairs and stepping in if you a sister, I'm a sister who don't play that kind of stuff with my siblings. But it's also like, girl, where were you this whole time? So like, you just can't be coming in and talking about you in charge. Like, are you? And that's just more of me thing. That's more of a me thing. Like, you saying a lot for somebody who hasn't, you just got here. And it's different if you kind of came in when it was just your sister. But your sister's been in a group for a bit. So who are you in this regards? It's like you're saying too much for somebody who's done nothing yet to warrant this kind of an attitude. And just like this whole like she's in charge kind of vibe. Like, girl, relax. Um, do something else, do some more, and then maybe I'll be like, all right, we'll see. But like your sister was already in this group with other women, and they've been on, doing what they've been doing at times even successfully without your assistance. So I just feel like, if anything, relax, just a tad. Just a tad. She's a little too big for her britches already. And she hasn't done anything to prove the level of talking about she's the new boss. Like, girl, are we? Like, calm down. That's just me.
I mean, but isn't that energy a lot like younger siblings though? It's just like they reach that weird point where as they're growing up they feel like, you know, they should be out in the front and they should be the da da da. No shade, because I love my sister down, but there's a point when they grow up where they kind of feel like, you know, they need to be out in front and I'm this and da 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 da, because they're trying to strike out on their own, you know, and out of the shadow of the other, you know, of the older sibling. And I get that. But there are also times where where facts are facts and you're not, you know, of course, on the same level. And we have been, and as us as viewers and fans of this show, like we have seen, you know, Adriana Gambino be the boss and be this amazing, you know, wrestler who we wanted to see, you know, sort of rise up the ranks. But it's looking like now, of course, as is the case with WoW, a good portion of the time, some of the stars come and some of them stay and some of them don't stay as long. But I will say this, you know, I did absolutely enjoy Adriana Gambino, and I enjoy her work from afar, from what I see that she does as Valentina Rossi. She's beautiful, she's a star, and I can't wait to see more of what she does down the road in wrestling. I wanted her to go after the WoW World title because for a moment in WoW, we can never forget. Got to do this last
Because
time. She
I'm
was.
undefeated.
She was undefeated. So I mean, what happened? Because she was undefeated, she should have definitely had more chances at gold and WoW. But it's okay. She'll get gold other places. So we bid adieu to our saucy queen and bid hello to her even saucier sister and see what she has to offer. Cause yeah, her sister does have a lot of attitude and a lot of mouth. So let's just see if she can back it up. You know, everything's new. But of course, she's also made a huge impression by bringing in Sylvia Sanchez as their exterminator. So now the alliance has gotten bigger. So how did you feel about that? Because they did have a match in the last episode, and Sylvia Sanchez was a big difference maker.
Yeah, no, I am, I guess, surprised because sometimes they just break up a group and then they put them with somebody else. You're like, well, what's the reasoning behind it? But I do think it's interesting to see what's going to happen with Sylvia being added. And yes, I have been wondering for the last year, maybe year and a half, that what happened with her strategy because she definitely was undefeated. And I'm like, so we're not going to get her into a title picture. She was at the time in her solo matches, she was winning all of them, and then they kind of put her in the group, and it kind of died down. And so, we'll see. Again, we'll see. Like I said, and even with your point about the little sister, I wouldn't know because my younger sisters don't. I am still like, even with my like me being the oldest of all my siblings, um, I think I'm still the one that's like, well, I'm gonna be in your face, and what are we doing about that? Like that kind of like my siblings may say things, but it's not gonna be the way I say things or the way I may do things, the way I might react to things. I think if anything, my younger sisters, my middle sister, my baby sister, they're like a lot more quieter about things than I am. I would be like, I'll be ready, like, excuse me, let's slide to the side for a second, like that kind of vibe. Nothing is good. I'm just saying that. And I guess maybe for me, it's like, little sis, relax, because you know, excuse me. I think it's like a level of like you want your younger sibling to thrive, yes, but remember you are the younger sibling kind of vibes. It's like that whole like at least towards me, I feel like that's what it is because with my siblings, they really it's literally I'm the like big sister, crazy sister kind of thing. So I actually haven't really seen them do that, and I think even with my own kids, my oldest daughter is probably. I mean, I don't know. I feel like she's a lot calmer. My oldest, she's very like quiet and like she's definitely not how I am in that regard of I was ready all the time when it came to my siblings. And she's really not like not that she would. It's just she's very quiet and like I would be quick to be like, excuse me, take the headphone out, kind of vibe, but she'd just be like, no, 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 no. So I don't know. I guess like I said, we'll see. I'm always like, if you wasn't doing anything, I need you to just. It's like going to join the group project, doing nothing, and then you're like making it about you. That's the vibe I got from that. Like the person who didn't do shit in the group project, but you want like an A for not doing anything. And so we don't like to have. I guess the attitude she's having when you haven't done anything yet is like, relax. Let's see what you do first. You do have a lot of women in that group now who have been doing stuff, and as you know, as agitating as BK Rhythm has been with her bars, she has been on win. She's been winning matches as well, and so even with my disdain for her reps, like she has been doing her thing as well as part of that group. So you're kind of coming into a group that they already have. They do have some success. It's not like they're failing and they just added Sylvia and then added Adriana's sister. It's like no, they got some wins. They've been showing the locker room of WoW they can also be a threat in a way to either tags or triple the trios or the main title of the group. And so let's see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. So it's this Alliance 2.0 is pretty interesting, and I can't wait to see more of what they have to offer. So it's gonna be cool. So yeah, it's different, and we're gonna miss Adriana, but Ariana, we welcome you, and we can't wait to see what more you have to offer. And definitely when it comes to the powers that be of Reina Del Rey and BK and Gigi, along with Sylvia, like they can only grow stronger from that point. Because it's like you said, they've all been racking up wins here and there. So I feel like it's only going to make the collective stronger. So it's going to be cool. So, this episode was relatively short in terms of action because there was only 2 matches in this episode. So, we go straight to the main event, which was Tormenta versus Penelope Pink for the WOW World Championship. And of course, Penelope Pink came out with Lana Star. And they cut a promo before the match with Lana essentially saying that Penelope was going to um, complete her mission of having all the gold on her mantle again as the greatest manager in WoW history, and all of the things and so on and so forth, all of the above. Pink take over the things. So the match got started with both women, Tormenta and Penelope, mushing each other in the face. Tormenta then pushed Penelope all the way down to the mat, which I appreciated because my thing is, I'm the champion. You're here to fight me. You're not gonna run all over me and act like you've already won this title, like you finna like just get it easily. And I think that's Penelope Pink's problem half the time. It's like, oh well, I'm the best damn thing WoW has ever seen and all of that. But no, 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 no. Tormenta is here to go. Um my Penelope Pink voice is hilarious. I don't know. So Tormenta and Penelope Pink traded waist locks and Penelope tripped up Tormenta, but then Tormenta had a lot of Penelope Pink's kicks scouted. Then both ladies blocked each other's kick attempts and there was heated offense until Tormenta covered her for a 2 count. Tormenta would then twist up Penelope Pink's elbow attempt. And then she gave a clothesline and a second rope splash for a 2 count, which was very impressive because I always think like it's cool when you hit a splash from the top rope, but to hit one from a middle rope is just really nuts. That lucha's on display and I love it. Penelope Pink would then catch Tormenta's leap over attempt and then hit a face buster, which caused concern for Tormenta and her well-being because her back seemed to be tweaked in the midst of that, and the referee kept asking her if she wanted to keep going, if she wanted to, go on, but she continued to fight, and then Penelope took advantage of that by attacking her, by stomping on her multiple times and punching her multiple times, and then she even went as far as to attacking her on the apron and blowing a kiss and putting her kiss mark on the WoW World title as if to say it's hers. Here again, level 2 of arrogance. You thinking that it belongs to you and you're just going to win it out of nowhere, for the fun of it. And then as Penelope continued to yell at the referee, after he called her back into the ring after checking her face card in the mirror, Tormenta jumped her into a sunset flip, and they both kept fighting and shoving each other here again, and then they collided in the middle of the ring, having sort of the same idea to take each other down. And just when it looked like Lana was about to get in on the action and cheat for Penelope again, out comes Santana Garrett to even up all the odds, pull Lana down and distract Penelope Pink, and then Tormenta hit a Styles clash. Word to AJ Styles having a match tonight. On Saturday night's main event, she hit a Styles clash for the 1-2-3 and retained the WoW World Championship. So Tormenta is still our champion, with a little help from Santana Garrett, who didn't want to see that match go that way. But there's a caveat, there's a twist. Santana was staring at Tormenta as if to say, I got next. And this made me happy because Santana is that girl, and I really feel like she deserves to have another shot, a fair shot at the WoW World title. And who better to have a great match against and to test herself against than Tormenta? And that's how the episode ended. I was so happy that Tormenta retained because it could have gone any other way. We all know that because of Penelope and her shenanigans. But Tormenta's still the champion, and it looks like she's got another challenger down the road. So, Katrina, how did you feel about this match, the performance of both women and Santana coming in for the save at the end?
I liked the match. I thought it was a really good match. Like, I know you used to have me beef with Penelope, but I do think Penelope is, I think she's a great wrestler, and I think she proved that during going against Tormenta. Do I think Lana didn't need to be out there? Absolutely. Lana should have been backstage. She never came out there. Let Penelope handle what she needs to handle. But I do think with all of that, Tormenta handled herself well, and I did like the whole, kind of letting it be known, like, girl, I'm the champion. Calm down, just pay it because I'm the champion. And I like that. I like when people are assertive about what it is and what they also bring to the table. With that being said, I did appreciate Santana coming out to help her, but I'm always in a bit like it's always weird when somebody comes out to help and then you see them now looking at you. Came out to help me, but now you're looking at my title, and it's always just like, well, did you help me for me or did you help me for you? Like that. It's always like kind of a weird thing when I see situations like that when it's like you came to help and your very first action right after you helped is let me look at the title because that means you're not trying to really help me. It's like I'm trying to get myself in and let you know here I am, kind of like, or I'm coming for your next, or like be like watch out I'm coming kind of vibes I feel. And so like I like Santana, but I'm like, girl, was this the time? Like, it's like, was that the time to like even helping? Like you're looking at it like, this could be me kind of vibes, and it's always like that doesn't give me the you was trying to help, actually help her, rather than kind of letting her know, well, you here and that you're coming. I felt like that's what I got from it. And it wasn't like she was being aggressive about it. It's just not that. It was, but you can always peep when somebody's looking at a title and it's like that whole, like, I want this to be mine. We've seen it 100 times over in wrestling in general. And a person kind of holds the person's hand up and then they look at the title and you're like, oh, here it goes. And it's that whole, like, that thing of where, they're telling them, well, they got next or they're the next person you may have to worry about. And so I did appreciate her helping her, and I do like Santana Garrett. So don't get me don't like this is nothing tortured, or it's just something I noticed that it's always weird when somebody helps, and that is the very first thing they do is let me side eye you in the belt. Like it's like, well, are you helping me, my guy? Like that kind of a thing. But I thought it was a great match, and I did like that Tormenta, kept her title, and as Penelope, as great as she is, this is again. There are some women in WoW, and we mentioned Ashley earlier in the show that let's bring some new people up to look at to have some matches against Tormenta, rather it being who we are used to seeing. And again, no shade to Penelope because I like her, but it's also like, girl, like it's like you were gonna always see her or Miami Sweet Heat in a title picture. I feel like that's always what we're gonna see, and so it'd just be nice to switch it up a tad. But I thought it was a really good match.
You are absolutely right about that. I think that was one of my main reasons for wanting Santana to win the triple threat earlier because we had seen the Class Master hold the title. We've seen Penelope Pink hold that title and also the tag titles as well. And it's just kind of like, at what point is WoW going to allow itself to grow outside of putting the Fab Four in the midst of title pictures all the time? I understand having your villains. I completely get that. As a watcher of wrestling, I appreciate the fact that there's always, a baby face and a heel, and they are the strongest heel female faction, I would say, in all of wrestling. But it's just at what point does WoW allow itself to grow outside of let their title pictures grow outside of them being in the midst of it? Because we love them as talented as all of those women are. There are just other women who have not necessarily gotten a chance at the WoW World title. Like we're seeing Santana, who is a WoW OG, yes, but we haven't seen her really like get a fair shot at the title, and I'm glad that her and Tormenta could have that match down the line. You have Ashley Blaze, who's been getting all these victories, but then it's like, her and Terra Strike have their thing going on where they could be a tag team and could be tag team champions, and that's cool too, But at the same time, you could also have Terra who might want to challenge for that title as well. Like there are just a crop of talented women who, like, in my mind, I would love to see the Island Girl Kalaki go up against Tormenta. Those are two veteran women who I'm pretty sure could put on a good match. So I'm just sitting here like, why aren't we being a little bit more creative with um the lineups of women that we're seeing challenge for these titles? And I understand there's viewership and there's a whole lot of other decision making that goes behind it that we don't know, and I respect that wholeheartedly. But at the same time, there's still, a thirst in my mind, um, and a thirst of athleticism and a thirst of sportsmen like things that just want to see other women get chances. Like I want to see what it's like to see the Fab Four have to scrap in the back of the line. Like I want to see that. And even when it seems like they do scrap in the back of the line, it's never for long. Like I want to see them at the bottom and then have to rise up again. So I don't know. I don't know what that's going to take, but I am thrilled at the idea that Tormenta was able to retain because she deserved that. If she had lost in any dirty fashion, I would have been pissed, honestly. So I am glad that she won. And I do agree with your sentiment about Santana jumping in and helping, and wondering if it was, for Tormenta or it was just for herself. That is a very good question that I haven't really heard a lot of people ask, Kat, when it comes to wrestling. Like I've never heard anybody ask that. Like, are you helping for you? Or are you helping for me? Like that that's good. I like that. That just leaves me with a lot to think about. So yeah, that's going to change the way I see things differently. So yeah, so we've reached the end of our show and our time together. So, of course, thank you guys so much for watching us live. And of course, you can watch us later, like I said, on both of our YouTube channels, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast and In Cat We Trust. So, Kat, thank you for joining me on this Saturday. Tell everybody where they can find and follow you and what you've got going on.
You guys can follow me on most social media and Cat We Trust. On Twitter or X, the E is a 3, but everything is finally the way it's supposed to be. In Cat We Trust spelled correctly, so very happy about that. And I was supposed to have a show tomorrow, but it got canceled because of the impending storm here in New York, so I will not be there. But I do have some shows in February and March in the New York City and New Jersey area. So if you guys are there, definitely, stop by, support promotion, say hi respectfully. And I do have a new book coming out soon. So very happy about that. I'm trying to get that all together before my little celebration I'm doing for it. So, when I post everything and everything goes live, give it a like or support or share whatever you feel like doing at that time. That's about it. Oh, and I may be having, sorry, almost forgot. I should be having a new show soon, talking about wrestling and stuff within the next few weeks. We're doing a test run soon with Haven, and so that should be cool. And so you guys, definitely support that as well.
Awesome sauce. And the fact that you have a book coming out, oh my goodness, I love that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. So, of course, you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. You can follow and listen to the show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and everywhere else you get your podcast. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also follow me on TikTok at Stephanie_Hardy4, I believe it's the name of it, unless it's just Stephanie_Hardy. Either way, you can find me there. Um, and of course, you can listen to my newest episode of HWP Extra with Krista B, Jose, and Nessa, as we talked about the 20th anniversary of Disney's High School Musical. That was such a fun thing to do. Hopefully in the future I'll do more shows on outside subjects outside of wrestling. And it'll be fun and it'll be cool. So yeah. Also, you can check out all of my other episodes everywhere else too, and share any clips if anything resonates with you on a personal level, wrestling wise or whatever. Don't be afraid to share the clips with your friends, repost and copy links and all the things, just so the word can continue to get out, because we are here doing great wrestling work. And of course, continue to support women's wrestling on all forms, mainstream, independent, intergender, and otherwise. Support women's wrestling as a whole. Support WOW Superheroes. Give it a chance if you have not already. See where it comes on for you in your area, or just catch it online if you want to, and come and watch our post show afterward, buy merch and do all the things. So So support women's wrestling is essentially the point of this thing. So with that in mind, this has been Steph and Cat Talk Wow, brought to you by the Hardy Wrestling Podcast and In Cat We Trust. And until next time, please stay safe, stay warm, and stay cuddled up, and be a good person. Bye, y'all.